Movies are filled with unforgettable heroes. Luke Skywalker, Indiana Jones, Marty McFly, Dorothy Gale. But every now and then, a character with 4 legs quietly steals the show. Not because the movie is about them, not because they have the most dialogue. Sometimes they barely do anything at all. They're just there. And somehow, they become the most beloved characters in the entire film. Today I want to celebrate those unsung heroes, the dogs that weren't supposed to be the stars, but became unforgettable anyway. Before we jump into the list, I want to establish one rule. I'm leaving out movies that are actually about dogs. So that means no Marley and Me, no Turner and Hooch, no Old Yeller, no Homeward Bound, certainly no Hachi. Wonderful movies, but the dogs are already the stars. Today we're talking about the supporting cast, the dogs who wandered into someone else's movie, and somehow walked away with our hearts. If you've watched this channel before, you probably knew this one was coming. Einstein isn't in Back to the Future very much, but what a first impression. He's the first living creature to travel through time. That's quite a resume. Poor Einstein has absolutely no idea he's making scientific history. From his perspective, he just disappears. And then suddenly everyone is cheering. And then there's Doc's other dog, Copernicus, who patiently keeps him company back in 1955. Doc Brown may have invented time travel, but clearly he also had excellent taste in dogs. Now we move from science to complete insanity. Baxter might be the funniest dog in movie history. Let's review his accomplishments. He speaks Spanish. He opens refrigerators. He survives being kicked off a bridge. He lives among bears. He learns their language, and eventually, he shows up and he negotiates peace between bears and humans. Honestly, Baxter deserves his own action movie. Forget Ron Burgundy. I'd watch 2 hours of Baxter's adventures in the wild. Bruiser is proof that sometimes a dog doesn't have to perform incredible feats to become memorable. He's simply part of Elle Woods. He's her constant companion, her emotional support, her fashion accessory, and somehow he ends up becoming just as recognizable as she is. I haven't seen Legally Blonde in years, but when someone mentions Elle Woods, I immediately picture the little chihuahua right beside her. That's effective character design. Here's where things get interesting. Toto might actually be the most important character in The Wizard of Oz. Think about it. If Toto doesn't bite Miss Gulch, Dorothy never runs away. If Dorothy doesn't run away, she makes it home before the tornado. No trip to Oz, no Scarecrow, no Tin Man, no Cowardly Lion, no Wicked Witch. And later, who exposes the wizard? That's Toto, who accidentally keeps Dorothy from leaving in the balloon, forcing Glinda to reveal she could have gone home the whole time. That's Toto. Without Toto, there is no movie. That's not a sidekick. That's a catalyst for the entire story. Pixar figured out how to animate pure joy. His name is Doug. Everything about him is wonderful. I have just met you and I love you. That's basically every friendly dog I've ever known. The genius of Doug is that his thoughts aren't complicated. They're exactly what we always imagined our own dogs might be thinking. Food, friends, squirrels, love. It turns out that's all Doug really needs. There are a few more dogs I couldn't leave out. The Beast from The Sandlot, a dog who spends most of the movie as a terrifying urban legend, only to become one of its sweetest characters. Nanook from The Lost Boys, half family pet, half vampire detector. Nanook knew something was wrong long before anyone else did. And Fly from Babe. Technically, this movie is about a pig, not a dog. But Fly deserves recognition for being the patient border collie who helps teach Babe everything he knows. Buck from Call of the Wild. Okay, this one probably bends my own rule. Buck is absolutely central to the story, so maybe consider this an honorary mention with an asterisk. I don't think it's an accident that these characters become so memorable. Dogs represent something we instinctively understand. Loyalty, friendship, comfort, acceptance. They don't care whether you're a scientist, a television news anchor, a law student, or a little girl lost in Oz. They're simply there, and sometimes that's exactly what a movie needs, a reminder that unconditional loyalty doesn't require a lot of dialogue. Some of the greatest movie characters ever created never speak a word. Some only bark, some chase squirrels, some accidentally expose frauds behind giant green curtains, and some become the first time travelers in cinematic history. They may not get top billing, they may not have their own names in the title, but they leave paw prints all over our memories, and honestly, movies are better because of it. So now I want to hear from you. Who's your favorite movie dog that wasn't actually the star of the movie? I'm sure I've left out some great ones, and I'd love to discover a few new favorites in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more discussions about movies, television, gaming, and pop culture here on The Confusing Middle. Until next time, give your own dog a belly rub from me.